Everyone, welcome to 5 Questions with LeRoy Butler, and we are here following the Thanksgiving and the Packers' victory over Detroit the week before, and the Packers just keeps rolling, man. You know, here they go right into a Giants game, and this is a big game for the Giants. As much as as much as it is for the Packers to keep rolling after 5 straight, the Giants they're on the ropes a little bit, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean with Washington beating Dallas now, both teams are 5 and 6, so they got to keep pace with those teams, stay ahead of those teams if they want to win that division. But you know, and for the most part, the Giants don't play. They don't play well, Tom, until November and December.
Yeah,
that's when they start to play their best football. So I think it'll be a good matchup.
Yeah, and let's talk about Eli Manning. He's really been in a slump the last 4 games. 1 touchdown, 6 interceptions.
Yeah.
And, you know, he's the kind of guy who runs hot and cold, isn't he? I mean,
absolutely. I think that's how they won their 2 Super Bowls. I think he got hot at the right time. They've been giving him weapons, you know, with Nicks and, you know, Victor Cruz has emerged, but they also love Mario Manningham. That was a key guy in their system.
Yeah.
The 3 wide receiver system. And stay tuned for X's and O's. We're going to talk about that 3 wide receiver system. But you can see for the most part, this offense is a throwback offense. You know, Tom Coughlin, you know, Kevin Gilbride. These guys, they want to run the football.
Right.
They want to do play action, you know, get the ball down the field and things of that nature.
Yeah. You know, one thing about the Giants is that, you know, they have a history with the Packers, too. And I think these 2 teams know each other, know each other pretty well. How does that play into the game? I mean, do you think they can fool each other? And, you know, the Giants are coming off a bye, so they've had 2 weeks to prepare.
Yeah, and I think for the most part, they're going to prepare now with T.J. Lane being the right tackle. Up until, you know, a couple of weeks ago, it was Brian Bulaga. And now they probably thought on their playlist, or I'm sorry, their playbooks, that Evan Dietrich Smith was their backup center. Now he's the left guard.
Yeah.
So if you're the front 4 of the Giants, this is the game you figure you can get 7 or 8 sacks because you got guys in inexperienced spots. But I will say this, if the emergence of Jermichael Finley, if they can, Tom, some kind of way in that red zone, cause matchup problems, I think it slows that rush down for the most part, because he's always had pretty good games.
Right, and we'll show an example in X's and O's of how the Packers can use Finley to try to, you know, infiltrate their defense.
Yes.
Packers, you know, have some injury issues still. You know, Sam Shields isn't expected to play. Clay Matthews won't be there.
Right.
You know, Charles Woodson is still out. How do you think their defense is coming together without, you know, those 3 guys?
I think for the most part, Casey Hayward has been the playmaker. Everybody else has been doing their jobs. I think for the most part, the system speaks for itself. You know, you got the Pittsburghs, the Baltimore Ravens, these teams who run that system. And for the most part, you can name 3 or 4 guys on that defense, but you get past 5 guys, you don't know what those guys are.
Right.
They just put in guys that understand the system and understand what's asked of them. And everybody has a role, Tom. My role is, you know, like M.D. Jennings against Detroit, pick 6.
Right.
You know, a guy that we thought at one point lost his position to McMillan.
Yeah, right.
So I think for the most part, the coaches have to get a lot of credit for getting these guys prepared for anything.
Yeah, now, you know, you also have to give a credit to a guy like Hayward, who's, you know, a rookie. Usually you come in, you were a nickel back, weren't you, your first year? And you played corner, and you played outside, correct?
Yes.
This guy's coming in as a nickel, and he's playing the slot, the hardest position there is. Why don't you explain why the slot position is so hard to play?
Well, it's so much space. When you're on the outside, Tom, you could be protected by the sideline.
Right.
You know, when you're inside, you know, there's nothing there. You can even look behind you and you see touchdown. So you can't make as many mistakes. Outside, the safety can help you. The out of bounds can help you. And even sometimes you can talk to your coach, you know, because you're right there on the sideline.
Or you hear them yelling out ball if the ball is coming, right?
Inside, you know, that's a grown man spot. And for him to have 5 interceptions, and not only that, a lot of breakup passes, and all of that, they blitzed him against Detroit. Now, he didn't get him down, but it's on film that he can go after the quarterback.
Similar to what Charles Woodson would do.
Absolutely.
They pretty much just plugged him in there, right?
And I think, they haven't lost a lot of it, the savviness of Charles Woodson. But when Woodson comes back, it's going to be hard to take him off the field. But for the most part, I love to see young guys understanding football. That makes me feel good as a former defensive back.
And this is a huge matchup if they let him stay in the slot with Victor Cruz, which I think they'd have to. I don't think they'll move Tramon Williams to follow Victor Cruz, do you?
No, because 88 Knicks have always gave them problems. Go back and look at the playoff game last year. It had a long touchdown. Go back and look when they played, up in the new Meadowlands Stadium. Knicks has always given them problems. Bigger receiver, Victor Cruz, a smaller guy, he can match up well with Hayward. They're similar in size. But the bigger guy, you want Tramon to be on him. Although I will say Victor Cruz is a true #1 receiver, you got to keep 38 on 88 to feel like you have a chance for matchups.
Let's talk about one issue I think is really interesting, and that is the fact that Greg Jennings is close to coming back. He's practiced this week.
That's a teaser.
I don't know if he's going to play this week. It's still really up in the air. My guess is he won't, but we'll see. But, okay, you've established Randall Cobb as your slot guy now, and he's really come on and made a lot of plays. How do you incorporate Jennings, and what do you do with Cobb?
Well, the system speaks for itself. I think Rodgers always looks for matchups. But right now, Randall Cobb could be possibly, right now as we speak, your best receiver, your best running back. And not only that, he's your best playmaker. And he's also your kick returner. So if people say, a lot of people would ask me, are they doing too much with him? I say no. He's Darren Sproles, Percy Harvin, all into one. And when you get 85 back, Jennings, you just put him into that role. Now you can put Jordan Nelson back into his role as going down the field on play action. Everybody kind of goes back to their role. Now the guy that it will affect, though, is Jermichael Finley when 85 comes back, because those targets will go to Randall Cobb.
Yeah, and I think what will be kind of interesting to see, too, is will the return of Jennings mean moving Cobb to the backfield more, where you can start to now motion him out? You get them to, play some kind of a run defense because they're worried about him running, and then you motion him out, and you got an empty backfield, and you got 5 wide receivers, right?
Yeah, and they have a system like that. But I think when 85 come out, they're going to smooth him in there, give him 5 to 6 targets a game. But you'll see Randall Cobb be used as a decoy at times, like you're talking about, motion him out to get 85 one-on-one, to get 87 one-on-one. Where does James Jones fit in all of this?
Yeah.
So I think, and then when Cedric Benson come back, do they still run 25 times with James Starks? I think these guys will be healthy at the right time. And I think for the most part, if you're the Giants, you're playing the Packers right now when they're not at full arsenal.
Right, probably at the best time you can get on them.
Yeah, at the very best. And I got a feeling they'll be seeing these guys again.
Yeah. More than likely.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to win the Super Bowl, you got to beat the best teams, and you always have to have that one team that kind of sneaks on you. And right now, if you look at the whole entire NFL, Tom, you got the Atlanta Falcons, you got the Chicago Bears. It depends on how the Giants pick it up. Then you got the Packers, who can really just run the table if they wanted to. But for the most part, even if they don't, because I picked them to be 10-6, if they get into the playoffs, they could beat any of these teams.
Yeah. We will see.
Yeah. Thank you very much for CynicSmarket.com for being a sponsor. W.J. Kuhn in Oak Creek and Salvation Army doing the most good.
And don't forget to tune in to X's and O's. We got a couple of interesting plays to look at. And we will see you next week.
Bye.